Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Know what a petard is? I always knew it was something you got hoisted by. You know, hoist by his own petard. But I never knew what it was. So I looked it up. It was an explosive device used centuries ago by warring armies to blow things up. A device which sometimes blew up unexpectedly, thus hoisting the user into the air, to say the least. I mention all this because that's exactly what seems to have happened to a certain middle-aged lady known as Madame Zora.
Are you telling us you're a real ghost?
I'm not Whistling Dixie, doll.
But you can't be.
No? Why not?
Because my wife is a fake medium, a phony. She just puts on an act. She just plain isn't a medium.
She is now, Buster. She sure is now.
Our mystery drama, Medium Rare, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by George Lothar and stars Joan Lovejoy and Robert Dryden. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One. We're told that there are people who have the power to communicate with the souls of those who have died and passed on into another world. They are known as psychics, sensitives, mediums. Unhappily, there are also people who pretend to have this uncanny ability, fake mediums, who prey upon the credulous, the gullible. One of these, I regret to say, was an otherwise rather decent woman who dubbed herself Madame Zora, and who, with the assistance of her husband Artie, well, listen.
I'm sick of the racket. I'm sick of myself. And if you want the truth, Artie, I am sick of you.
Oh, come on, Gladys. What'd I do?
Nothing. That's just the trouble. You never do anything. You don't even bother to look for a job anymore.
What's the sense of looking for what isn't there? Actors are out of work in droves.
The trouble is you are always out of work in droves.
Okay, so I haven't made it yet. But someday, you mark my word, someday I'll be a star.
Oh, yeah, that'll be the day. Right now, it is today, and Mrs. Norris will be here any minute. Now, Artie, somehow, some way, we've got to keep her coming back for more seances.
Well, not a chance, you ask me. Unless the late lamented Mr. Norris tells her where he stashed that $1 million in cold cash and tells her today, she's going to split.
We've got to give her an answer. Otherwise, well, I just don't know where the next sucker is coming from. Oh, she's here. Into the bedroom, quick.
On my way.
You tested the microphone setup?
Mitch.
Well, here goes nothing. Mrs. Norris, how nice to see you. Come in. Now, I'm all ready for you, and Mrs. Norris, believe me, I have a feeling that today your dear departed husband is going to tell you what you want to know.
He'd better. Or it's the last $50 you'll ever get from me, Madame Zora.
I have done all in my power to help you.
Well, in that case, perhaps I'd better find a medium with more power. Shall we get on with it?
Yes, of course. If you'll just be seated at the seance table. And now, let me turn down the lights. So. And now I will seat myself and go into trance. He is here. He is with us. You are there, are you not, Mr. Norris?
I am here, Madam Zora.
Your wife has joined me once again so she can talk to you. Will you talk with her?
Hello, Marie.
Herkimer, is that you? Really you?
Would I lie to you, Marie?
No, you wouldn't dare. But Madame Zora might.
Marie, believe me, you may put your trust in Madame Zora.
Herkimer, where is that money?
Marie, you know, I've been trying to remember where I put that $1 million for weeks. I've been trying to remember, but...
Oh, that does it. I've had enough. You can come out of your trance, Madame Zora, if you are in one, and never again will I come into the...
Doll. Cool it.
What?
I said cool it. Knock it off.
Who are you? What?
Handsome Harry Harrigan, they used to call me, sweetheart. But never mind that. You want to know where hubby cribbed the cabbage, right?
Cribbed the cabbage?
Hid the dough. Okay, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you because I'm sick of hearing you ask. Also, I've got some business with Madame Zora, and you're chewing too much beef. You got something to write with? Pencil, paper?
Yes, I've got...
All right, write this down. Geneva Bank, Switzerland. Got that?
Yes.
Number 753-8492-W. Got that?
Yes, but...
That's
but what...
the number of the safety deposit box in the Geneva Bank where your hubby hid the long green. Okay. You got what you want? Pay Madame Zora her 50 clams and split.
Yes. Yeah, oh, yes, I will. I don't know what to say. Well, thank you, Madame Zora. Thank you.
Not at all, not at all.
And thank you, Harry. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Now fade, will you?
Fade?
Scram. Beat it.
Oh, yes, I'm going. Thank you.
Artie, you can come out of the bedroom now.
What? What's happening? Who are you? Where are you?
I'm here, but you can't see me. I haven't learned how to, what they call, materialize yet.
Materialize? Are you telling us that you're a real ghost?
I'm not whistling Dixie, doll.
Artie, I think I'm going to faint.
Later. Right now, I need you. I need a job done, and I picked you to do it.
What kind of a job?
You'll find out. First, let me give you a little scam about me. Put you in a picture, like they say. Before I kicked off a couple of years ago, I was one of the best card shops in the business. Handsome Harry, they called me. Handsome Harry Harrigan, because... I do say so myself. I was a pretty cool-looking cat. Not like this creep you married.
What do you mean, creep?
Go take a look at yourself in a mirror and you'll see what I mean. You want to be an actor, you got to act the part. Look like an actor, talk like an actor, dress like an actor. You look, act, talk, and dress like a bum.
Oh, I've been telling him that for years, but would he listen to me? Oh, no, not him.
Some other time, Gladys, huh? Right now, I got to fill you in on why I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harry. I may call you Harry.
Handsome. I was always called Handsome. Now, over here, in this other world, I'm doing a stretch in what they call limbo. It's kind of like being in a can in prison, you know what I mean? That's because I got hate in my soul, and I got to get rid of it.
Hate in your soul? You got hate?
For a gunzel named Tex Morgan, who 3 years ago took me to the cleaners with a pair of loaded dice and took my mouse along with everything else.
Well, what were you doing with the mouse?
A dame, a skirt. Girlfriend.
Oh.
Dory. That was her name. A looker, a bombshell. Tex, he cops my dough and her. I'm looking for them a whole year to put the blast on them, to get revenge. When my ticker goes bluey, and, well, that's the end of that. So now I'm over here in this limbo place, and I can't get out till I, what they call, purge myself of this hate I got for Tex and Dory.
What do you want with us? How are we going to help you get rid of your hate feelings?
I'll explain all that when we get to Vegas.
Vegas? Las Vegas?
There's another Vegas? Yeah, Las Vegas. That's where they are right now, Tex and Dory. He's a blackjack dealer at the Pan of Gold.
Suppose we don't go.
Don't go?
Well, you haven't told us what's in it for us yet. What do we get out of all this if we help you?
It's what you'll get out of it if you don't help me.
Like what?
Artie!
What?
The table, my expensive seance table. I've got 6 payments to go yet.
Bouncing up and down on the floor. Look, it's flying into the air. And Gladys, look out!
Oh, he's broken my seance table in splinters. Harry, you've wrecked my table with 6 payments.
Are you and Meathead here going to Vegas? Or not going to Vegas?
Artie, start packing.
Dory,
Yes, Tex.
clean shirt?
Bureau, top drawer. I'll get it.
Oh, no, you don't. You just stay right there on the couch. Remember, you're resting for 2 now.
Oh, darling. Having a baby isn't really the big deal you're making out of it.
Maybe not, but you are. To me. The biggest deal I ever made, honey.
Oh, Tex.
Ah, baby.
Hey. Come on. You got 15 minutes to get over to the Pan of Gold.
I'll make it. I wouldn't be late today for anything.
Do you really think Roscoe will?
Look, would he have called me into his private office yesterday, talked to me like a loving father, if he didn't mean that I'm going to get the nod?
Supervisor. Head dealer. Oh, Tex, you'll be in charge of the whole section.
They're bringing home a lot more bacon. That's what counts, especially right now. Kid on the way. And the house. The little house.
But can we afford it? Really, Tex? Can we?
You want it, don't you?
You know I do.
And you're going to get it.
Oh,
You're the one that convinced me to go straight. And, Dory, I bless you for it. Hauling down a straight salary, working a blackjack table on the up and up. I'm clean. I am Tex Morgan citizen. And, Dory, it feels good. Solid.
then no regrets.
Regrets?
Well, being married, kid on the way and all.
You shouldn't even ask.
Wild, man. Wild. You sound like you've never been in a casino before, Artie.
Me? I never been west of Hoboken, New Jersey. Gladys, look at this place, would you? Roulette wheels, slot machines, crap tables, I don't know what all.
Blackjack tables. Like that one over there. With Tex Morgan dealing.
That's him? The slim one with the glasses?
That's him. My first mark, my first step to, like they say in limbo, purging my soul of hate. You ready to go to work, Gladys?
What do you want me to do?
Take a hand at Morgan's table.
Play blackjack? I don't know how. I've never played. Artie has, though.
How much dough you got on you, Gladys?
Would you believe $7?
Gladys, by the time you leave that table, Tex Morgan's table, you won't have just 7 skins or 70 or 700 or 7,000. You're going to leave that table with 17,000 iron men.
17 grand?
For openers. We'll really start putting the hooks to Tex Morgan tomorrow.
Look, I don't get this. I don't know the first thing about playing blackjack.
But I know everything. Also, I'm a ghost.
What's that got to do with it?
I can see through anything, including cards. My revenge on Tex and Dory begins And, baby, let Handsome Harry tell you, revenge is sweet.
Handsome Harry Harrigan is taking the wrong route to purging his soul. Madame Zora, fake medium, was, as I said at the outset, hoisted by her own petard. And quite honestly, I look forward to Handsome Harry, unhappy though he may be in limbo, being hoisted by his. We'll see when I return shortly with Act Two. Madame Zora, fake medium, finds herself in real and anything but medium trouble, completely under the domination of the ghost of Handsome Harry Harrigan. It seems that when Handsome Harry's ticker went bluey, he found himself in limbo, to move on from which point he must purge his soul of the hate he feels for Tex Morgan and his former girlfriend, Dory. And so, in the gambling casino of the Pan of Gold in Las Vegas...
Hit me. 20.
18. You win again. Joey, get Roscoe quick.
Gladys, lay 1,000 on the next hand.
Okay, Harry.
Ma'am?
What?
You say something?
Oh, no, nothing. 1,000 on the next hand.
1,000 it is. Again?
Yeah, hit me.
Stand pat, Gladys.
With 15?
He's got 13. Top card's an ace. He'll take it and go over.
Ma'am?
I'll sit with these.
Suit yourself. One more to the house. 23.
Pay me.
You wanted me, Tex?
Yeah, Roscoe. Excuse me, ma'am. I'll be back in a second.
You want no color? I'll get you that.
Roscoe, this
I heard.
is him.
How come she's breaking the house?
I don't know.
You don't.
Of course I don't, Roscoe.
You don't know this thing.
No.
Never see her before.
No.
She's in the house. What? How much?
14 grand.
Close the table.
Okay. Hey, Hardy. Table's closed, ma'am.
What do you mean, close?
He means closed.
Well, now, wait just a minute.
Hold on. Hey, collect your winnings and toss Tex a $100 chip.
Well, okay. Just give me my winnings. And, here's 100 for you, dealer.
Say, go buy yourself a piece of luck.
Go buy yourself a piece of luck.
Oh, my God.
Is something wrong? You've gone white as a ghost.
Where'd you get that line, lady?
What line?
Handing the dealer 100 skins and saying, go buy yourself a piece of luck.
Why? What's it to you?
Nothing, only it was a trademark of a gambler, a big-time swinger. He died more than 2 years ago.
And then, Dory, then she says, go buy yourself a piece of luck. Just the way Handsome used to.
But what of it? It's something almost anyone might say.
It was Handsome's trademark. And another thing, all through the play, she kept rubbing the right side of her nose with her index finger, just the way Handsome used to.
Well, honestly, Tex, I don't know what you're getting at.
I'm saying that Handsome Harry Harrigan was at that table, my table.
Tex, Handsome's been dead for more than 2 years.
He's come back to get me.
Tex!
He swore he would with his dying breath, he swore it. Face it, Dory, I cheated him out of a fortune with loaded dice.
But that was before you went straight.
I wouldn't cut any ice with Handsome, dead or alive. What about you? You left him for me. You deserted him, he said.
But he knew better than that. He knew the hell he'd put me through. How many times did he beat me up? How many threats did he make to disfigure me with acid if I ever even looked cross-eyed at another man? I was scared to death of him, Tex. Petrified. Until I fell in love with you, and And I just knew I couldn't go on with him anymore, no matter what he did.
Dory, I tell you, he's come back. I know he's come back.
Well, I don't believe in ghosts, and I never will. But if they do exist, if Handsome has come back, I'm not afraid of him or what he'll try to do. There's no reason to be afraid of him. Not anymore.
How do you figure that?
Because we love each other, Tex. We love each other deeply and devotedly. Maybe it sounds corny, but from where I sit, love is stronger than hate any day.
Artie? Artie! What have you done to yourself?
Well, I wanted to do for years. As soon as I got some dough, go out and buy me some new threads. Handsome wasn't telling me nothing I didn't know when he said, I want to be an actor, I got to dress the part.
Well, I never believed clothes make the man, but they sure make you.
I'm more than just a clothes horse, doll.
What in the world? Artie, you sounded just like Handsome Harry.
I am Handsome Harry, sweetheart. Just using Stupid's body for a while.
You are using Artie's body?
Until I learn how to materialize, if I ever do. They tell me on the other side, in that limbo joint, it takes a lot of patience and practice. Yeah, what do they know? They even told me I'm getting this hate out of my soul the wrong way.
Well, I haven't wanted to say anything.
All right,
but,
so don't. They say taking out my hate on Tex and Dory only make my hate grow bigger. Said I gotta find forgiveness in my heart. I told them to take a powder. I know what I'm doing.
I hope so.
Hey, what's eating you all of a sudden? You won a fortune the past week beating Tex at blackjack.
She came to see me, Dory.
Oh?
She said Tex was scared. That nose-rubbing bit, you know. That he thought I was you returned from the dead.
He's right. You are. Same difference, anyhow.
Well, I told her I didn't know what she was talking about. So she said, well, anyhow, to please lay off Tex that he was in hot water at the casino because of the losses at his table, and... Well, look, Handsome, she seemed like an awfully nice kid and a decent kid to me. And it comes to that I've grown to like Tex Morgan, too.
Oh, stop. You're breaking my heart.
Handsome, the way I feel now...
Wise up. What I feel is all that matters. And don't forget, if I can take possession of Artie's body, I can do the same with yours. So don't get any fancy ideas about running out on me. You got that?
Yeah.
Then hang on to it, doll. Hang on real tight.
Yeah? Send him in. Sit down, Tex. Tex, I'm sorry about this, real sorry. I guess you know I was going to make you a head dealer of the blackjack section.
You're not?
Worse. You're fired.
Oh, come on,
We can
Roscoe.
put up with a lot from our dealers, Tex, but one thing we won't put up with is a crooked dealer.
I told you when you took me on 2 years ago that I was playing straight from then on, and I have.
Maybe.
There's no maybe about it, Roscoe. I'm married to one of the finest women in the world. I've got a kid on the way. We're planning to buy a house here in Vegas, and you're saying that I'd risk all that by going crooked again?
I'm talking facts. Sorry, pal. I get my orders from upstairs. You're out of the Pan of Gold and every other casino in town.
He said he'd get me, and he's done it.
Hey, Artie, you should have bought more luggage after buying all those new suits. How are we going to pack them up for the trip back east?
You taking a powder, doll?
Oh, it's you, Handsome. You've taken possession of Artie's body again.
Yeah. Handsome Harry in the flesh. Artie's flesh. What's all this with a packing?
We're going back to New York.
Who says?
I do.
I don't. And I give the orders, sweetheart. You and Artie are staying right here in Vegas.
But what for? The job you wanted done? It's done.
Hasn't even started.
Now, what do you mean?
Getting Tex fired was just the first step. I swore I'd make him regret the day he was born, and that's what I'm going to do. He thought he was all set, married to my doll, a kid on the way. Could have been my kid.
Handsome, listen to me.
What for? All you're going to do is run off at the mouth about forgive and forget. No more arguments, Gladys. I'm following through with every single step in my plan, following through to the hilt.
Well, how many steps are there?
3. You took care of the first. Artie will take care of the second.
And the third?
That'll take care of itself. All right, I come here to get step number 2 set up with Artie. I got to talk to him. Where is he?
You're in him.
Oh, hey, I forgot. Well, I can't talk to myself, can I? Okay, Artie, take over.
You say something about buying more luggage, Gladys?
Yeah, I did, Artie, but skip it for now, sweetheart.
Sweetheart?
Handsome's here. He wants to talk to you.
About what? I got a job for you, punk.
What kind of a job, Handsome?
Acting. You're going to be an actor.
An actor?
Oh, honey, don't listen to him. He's putting you on.
What part do I play?
A murderer.
A murderer?
I kill somebody?
Not just somebody, Artie. You'll kill a very special person. You'll kill the girl who used to be my girlfriend. You killed Dory Morgan.
A short act, but a sweet one, Handsome Harry said, believing, as perhaps all too many do, that revenge is sweet. But chemistry teaches the immutable, perhaps divine law, that the sweeter a thing, the more sour it can become, given certain conditions. Personally, I have the feeling that Handsome's sweet revenge is going to turn very sour indeed. I'll be back shortly with Act 3.
This is WBBM Chicago.
Helpless in the grip of a ghost. The ghost of gambler Handsome Harry Harrigan. Fake medium Madame Zora, real name Gladys, and her would-be actor husband Artie find that they must do whatever Handsome tells them to do. Now, to the horrified astonishment of both, Handsome has told Artie that he is going to murder Dory Morgan.
Murder Dory Morgan? Kill that nice, sweet kid?
Don't hand me that nice, sweet kid, Jazz. She's a two-timing tramp.
No, she is a decent girl. And she's carrying a baby.
Tex Morgan's baby.
I don't care whose baby it is. Kill her and it's double murder. And I'm not letting Artie do one.
Stupid here will do what I tell him, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
But why? What are you going to get out of killing Dory?
Not what I'm going to get, sweetheart. What Tex is going to get. The misery that'll make him wish he'd never been born. He'll live with that misery inside him, burning in him, in his gut, for the rest of his life. First, he loves her. And he does, I know that. Second, he'll know he killed her. Not me, him. Every day of his life, he'll think, 1,000 times a day, he'll think, if I hadn't stolen her from Handsome, she wouldn't be dead.
He didn't steal her. She loved him.
Love? You know something? I'm sick of that word. That's all they talk about over here, love. And that's all you talk about lately. You, a 2-bit phony medium that sucked in any mark you could find, sucked them dry, even when they didn't have a pot to put a penny in. And you talk to me of love?
Okay. I guess I have no right. I've got to admit, I don't know much about it. It's new to me, love.
What? You mean me, Gladys?
Yes, Artie. I love you.
Well, how about that? You hear that, handsome? How about that?
So don't get all flaked out. I know dames, and this one you're married to is no exception. Love you. She needs you is all. There ain't a dame in the world. There isn't a person in the world wouldn't sell his mother down the drain.
You're judging others by what you are. Can't you get it through your head? Can't they on the other side somehow beat it into you that there are good people in the world? Honest, generous, decent people?
Show me one.
What?
Show me one. Just one. And maybe then I'll believe. Well, go on, doll. Show me one. Name me one.
Dory.
Dory?
I can prove it to you.
Yeah? How?
If I do, will you let her off the hook? Will you let her live her life with Tex?
Sure.
It's a deal, handsome?
It's a deal, baby. It's a deal.
Tex, honey, it isn't the end of the world.
The end of our plans, our future. Sure, the end of the house. I can't afford a mortgage now.
So, we live in an apartment.
Yeah, and how long will I be able to afford the rent?
Tex, I can always get a job to help out.
With a baby?
Well, there's sitters, people who stay with kids while the...
No.
Tex.
I said no, and I mean it. It'd be like the way I was brought up, dragged up. My father couldn't make it either, so my mother went to work, and my grandmother, she took care of me. Then she died, and I went on the streets. Changed my life, Dory. It taught me to cheat and lie and sucker anybody I could until I met you and fell in love with you.
Oh, you.
May I come in?
Well, yes.
I don't blame you for hesitating, Mrs. Morgan. I guess I've kind of put a crimp in your life.
Oh, what? Not at all.
You don't have to con me. I know the score. Your husband's in trouble, Mrs. Morgan. Bad trouble.
Is he?
You know it.
I don't know anything of the sort. Well, never mind that. What is it you want?
I've come here to make you an offer.
Offer?
In the past week, I won $130,000 from your husband. Well, the casino, actually. But he was the dealer, and he lost his job because of it.
True.
The deal I've come here to make, and no questions now, I'll give you that $130,000 if you leave him.
You will give me everything you won from Tex if I leave him? What you mean is desert him?
Yes.
In other words, sell him out for $130,000?
Well, that's one way of putting it.
Tell me another. Harry was evil, and the man I'm married to is good. As for you, I don't know what you are. I don't think you know what you are. But you'd be smart if you found out.
Found out?
I didn't know who I was with Harry, but I did. And I do. With Tex. You think you can buy that? With $130,000? You think you can buy it with $130 billion? I said I'd give you one answer. Here it is. You can't.
I was sure I couldn't.
Then why did you come here?
To prove my point. To somebody else. had a deal, you Welcher. I said I'd prove there are good people in this world, decent people capable of love, and I did. She turned down your offer flat.
You go and you buy a gun and you kill her. That's all.
I'm not buying any gun, and I'm not killing anybody, especially a fine human being like Dory Morgan.
All right. Now, let me tell you two something. Thanks to me, you're worth 130 grand. You're on easy street. I can see to it you wind up right back where you started, in that crummy New York apartment, scrounging for nickels and dimes. Now, what's it to be?
As far as I'm concerned, you can take your 130,000 and stuff it.
Tex and Dory, two people you never met till now, and you'd give up a fortune for them?
And for what they stand for. For what they are. She loves him, he loves her. And
love, a stacked deck, a con game.
Call it what you want. I'm not killing Dory Morgan.
And you neither, huh, stupid?
Well, I don't know.
Artie!
Gladys, baby, I'm sorry, but I've been thinking. I don't want to go back to that lousy New York dump and start living from hand to mouth again.
You'll do it? Artie, you'll do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, Artie.
Yes?
Mrs. Morgan?
Yes?
I'm a friend of Texas. Is he home?
Well, no, he just left. But you must have just passed him on your way in.
Oh, it's too bad. I got a job for him.
A job? Oh, well. Won't you come in?
Thanks.
Sit down. Sit down. What kind of a job is it? What is this? A gun.
Listen, I don't like to do this, but I gotta.
Gotta what?
Kill you.
Kill me?
Yeah, I gotta do it. I got no choice. You see, it won't hurt. I'll make it quick, so it don't hurt. And I can't do it, Harry. I can't do it.
I can easy.
Your voice. It's changed. You sound like.
Handsome Harry Harrigan, Dory.
Oh!
Your old flame. Handsome Harry.
But you're dead.
Only my body, doll. The spirit, it don't die. It goes on living till it gets itself purged or something. That's why I'm here. Inside this creep's body. My spirit using his body to kill you, you two, Diamond.
Harry.
And I won't make it quick. I'm going to make it slow. And very painful, doll. Very.
Oh, Harry. Harry, no. I don't care about me, but the baby. I'm carrying a baby.
His baby.
It doesn't matter whose. It's a baby. It's a new life. Oh, Harry, no.
I'm telling you, stand still.
Harry, listen to me. Please listen. I fell in love with Tex. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't stand it anymore with you. The beatings and the threats. If I'd loved you, Harry...
You did.
No.
You loved me.
Never. I wanted to. I wanted to, but you never gave me the chance.
Right. I gave you everything you've asked for. Clothes, furs, jewels, everything.
Everything but love, because you never had any of that in you to give.
What? A lot you know. A hell of a lot you know.
You beat me. You threatened me.
Because I loved you. Because I was scared of losing you. I seen you flirting with another guy.
Never,
Then it would send me up the wall. I'd make love to you, and you were like ice. And it would drive me bananas. I wanted you. I needed you. And never once did I ever have you.
Harry.
I'm sorry I beat you. I'm sorry I threatened you, but I couldn't help myself because the thought of losing you. I knew I'd die if it happened. And I did.
Oh, Harry.
So you owe me, doll. For what you did to me, you owe me. And you're paying. You're paying in full. You're paying now.
No! Harry? You dropped the gun.
I can't kill you. I still love you.
And maybe I love you a little now. What is it, Harry?
Calling to me. Guys and dolls in limbo. Huh? What? Hey, that's out of sight. I mean, say that's really something else.
What? Harry, what is it?
Dory, believe it or not, I'm purged.
Love, hate. Two sides of the same coin, they say. If that is so, perhaps I can be forgiven for saying that Handsome Harry really flipped. Anyhow, he's purged. I'll be back shortly. You'll be interested to learn that Tex found another job, and he and Dory are deliriously happy with their baby boy, Harry. Gladys and Artie live in the country. They bought a house and barn, in which Artie stages and stars in his own plays. As for Handsome Harry, he went on finally to a higher plane, wherever that is. Our cast included Joan Lovejoy, Robert Dryden, Mason Adams, and George Petrie. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Now, a preview of our next tale.
What can I do for you, Gray?
Well, I was wondering if you'd listened to that last report of mine on Rattus norvegicus.
No, but I was just about to, actually. I got the tape recorder right here on my bedside table and was just about to turn it off.
Oh, fine. Listen, I'm anxious to get your reaction. Could you call me when you finish?
I'll call you back, Gray.
Report to Dr. Christopher Morton from Dr. Grayson Carter on experiment number 17 for Rattus norvegicus. Chris, as you know, my entire theory is based on my conviction that of the 2,000 rat species in the world,
What in the world is that?
rat, especially the brown
something
rat
in the room.
Rattus
Better turn on the light.
is the most intelligent.
Good Lord.
Originated in
It's a rat.
They have spread
The
throughout the world,
biggest I've ever...
exterminating many other species.
No! No!
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. This is E.G. Marshall, and you're welcome in my world where things are even stranger than they seem, and reality falls before truth. We've all heard that one picture is worth 1,000 words. But is this really true? A quick example. Would your sweetheart rather hear you say, "I love you," or look at your picture? But pictures have their place, as millions of camera fans all over the world will tell you. Listen as we hear about a strange and dangerous camera which brought tragedy to those who owned it.
No, please don't hit me again. I told you I don't know it. Oh, don't. There's no sense in you hitting me and hitting me. I don't know the combination. Please. I don't care about the camera. I really don't. I would tell you if I could, but Johnny changed the combination on the safe because he knows how I felt about it.
Our mystery drama, Die, You're on Magic Camera, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Murray Burnett and stars Nick Pryor and Terry Keane. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser, and by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal. I'll be back shortly with Act One. How do you feel when your host or hostess pulls out the old family album for a quiet evening looking over family snapshots? Some people find this enjoyable. Johnny Carlin loved picture taking. At the time our story opens, Johnny had attained a cherished ambition. He was the proud owner of a brand new Volecta S60, a magnificent camera, and the very last word in self-developing photography. To add to his happiness, he was taking the very first picture on the Volecta of his beautiful and bubbly girl, Lisa Kane.
Move to your left, Lisa. If you can sort of lean against the pillar of the bank there. Yeah, that's it. Hold it. Good.
I can't wait to see it.
Neither can I.
What happens now?
You just push this button and wait for the picture to develop.
Seems like a miracle.
It's a brilliant piece of scientific work. Someday I'll explain how it works. Now, we open this back, and here's your picture.
But, well, how strange. Is that the picture you took?
It sure isn't. Wait a minute. I can't figure out what happened.
Look how clear the inside of the bank is. Is that a holdup going on?
Well, yeah, it looks like it.
But there hasn't been a holdup. Look, everything's normal.
Yeah, I can see it is, but the camera doesn't lie. There are 3 guys with guns and people lying on the floor. This is crazy. I don't know what I did about breakfast before I met you, Lisa.
You had coffee and Danish and some greasy spoon.
Remind me to chalk up another reason for us to get married. It'll be more convenient for me to have you in my kitchen than for me to come over to your place every morning.
I'll remind you.
Hey, Lisa, look at this.
Intercoastal Trust held up by 3 bandits who escaped with $30,000 in cash and negotiable securities. Johnny, isn't that the...
That's the bank where we stood when I took that picture.
What does it mean?
Hand me my camera.
Here.
It beats me that this is a perfectly ordinary Volecta.
Well, could it have been just a freak thing, some kind of a crazy mix-up?
You tell me how this camera could take a picture of a holdup in a bank that hadn't happened yet. Can you explain that?
No. Why don't we just forget about it?
Because there's a reward for information leading to the capture of the robbers.
You think the picture we have shows the actual robbers?
Well, it's worth a try.
Inspector Barrett, 45th Precinct. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm calling about the Intercoastal Bank robbery yesterday. I think I have something that'll help.
Thank you for calling. What do you have?
Well, I can't tell it over the phone.
Why not?
Because it's a photograph.
A photograph?
Yeah, I was taking a picture of my girl outside the Intercoastal Bank yesterday, and somehow I got a picture of the holdup.
Where are you now?
My office is 1 Central Park South. I'll be there in an hour. The name is Carlin Communications. I'm John Carlin.
See you in an hour, Mr. Carlin, and thanks.
You didn't say anything about the reward.
There's time for that when I get him in the office. You expect anyone?
No.
You'll forgive me, but the door was open.
What, that's impossible. I always double lock that door.
We're all forgetful at times. You're John Carlin.
Who are you?
My card.
Elector Camera Corporation, Nicholas Scarlett, sales representative. Yes, Mr. Scarlett?
I'll come straight to the point, Mr. Carlin. Our records show that you purchased a Volecta S60 on the 27th of this month, correct?
That's right.
Well, it was our mistake. No question about it. A very grave error. That model was sold to you by some stupid clerk. It is an experimental camera that should not be on the market. So, since it was our error, we are going to give you your choice of any 2 Volecta cameras you wish, including our motion picture line, when you return the experimental model. Fair?
What kind of experiments were you doing with this model?
Not my department, Johnny. I'm just here to get the camera back.
Well, suppose I want to keep the camera.
Why would you want to do that?
Suppose I did.
Bad move, Johnny. I wouldn't advise it.
You mean there's a chance that the Volecta people might try to grab it sometime? Rip me off?
Oh, never. You paid for the camera. It's yours unless you return it voluntarily. That's the rule of the company, and that's the way it works. Now, what do you say? Do we have a deal?
I'd like to think it over.
Oh, sure thing. But believe me, Johnny, this camera wasn't meant for you. And whatever you're thinking, it won't work out.
When did you take this shot, Mr. Carlin?
Well, I don't remember the exact time, Inspector, but it must have been during the robbery. When else could it have been?
I don't know. But maybe you can explain how it is that the faces of the hold-up men are so sharp and clear.
Well, the Volecta S60 is a marvelous camera.
Yeah, it must be, since the bank camera shows that the men were wearing stocking masks.
Johnny, I don't know what you're trying to prove, but I've got to get out of this hotel lobby.
Can't figure it out. It just doesn't make sense. Every single one of these pictures came out just the way I took them.
Well, why shouldn't they?
Well, how do you explain that picture in front of the bank?
I told you, it was a freak, that's all. Come on, let's get out of here.
Well, maybe you're right. There's a phone over there. You sit in this chair while I call Scarlett and tell him I'm ready to make the deal.
Okay, but make it fast.
1 minute.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Scarlett, please.
Who?
Mr. Nicholas Scarlett, sales representative.
I'm sorry, we have no Mr. Scarlett here.
No, you must have. I have his card right here. It says Nicholas Scarlett.
I'm sorry, sir. There's no Mr. Scarlett working for us.
Is it all set? Can we go now?
Volecta never heard of Nicholas Scarlett. He doesn't work for them.
What? Well, that's impossible. He offered you...
He's a phony. He just wants the camera. I've got to figure this thing out from every angle.
Johnny, I'm tired and I'm hungry. I just want to get out of this hotel.
Okay. On our way out, I just want to take one more shot.
Johnny, that's an empty passenger elevator.
I can see that. Okay, there. Now let's go. Well, look at what comes out in the restaurant.
Eggs are hard.
Oh, I never would have believed a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich could taste this good.
Look, Lisa, look at this shot.
What, the empty elevator?
It isn't empty on this picture. Look.
Johnny. Oh, Johnny, I'm frightened.
Lisa, you've got to help me find the girl in the picture.
Johnny, I want you to throw that camera in the river.
And just forget about what's going to happen to that girl in the picture with the knife at her throat?
How do we know it hasn't happened already?
Honey, I've been through that with you. The first picture showed a robbery that was going to happen, and it did. Now we have a girl and a man in a hotel elevator, and the guy has a knife at her throat. We might be able to stop that from happening.
Oh, we don't even know who she is.
She's probably a guest at the hotel. One of the desk clerks should recognize her picture if you show it to her.
This picture? I can't show them that.
No, of course not. But I can crop it so that the man with the knife
Johnny,
is out.
it's no use. I don't want to go around asking about a girl I don't know. I don't want anything to do with that camera. I just want you to get rid of it.
Lisa, do you want to throw away $1 million?
Johnny, you sound like a stranger. I don't even know you. Why do you talk about $1 million? What's this picture got to do with...
Don't you see the possibilities that exist with this camera? I can predict when a crime will occur. I can also show the face of the criminal. Now, will you think of what a private detective agency could do with something like that?
But how would you explain it?
I don't have to explain anything.
I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about the whole thing.
She's right, John. Listen to what she's saying.
Mr. Scarlett, where did you come from?
Well, I have here the 2 cameras that the Volecta Company promised you in return for the experimental model.
You don't work for Volecta. I checked. They never heard of you.
That's of no importance.
No? Well, what is?
That you return the camera to me.
The way I figure it is, you just want that camera for yourself. I don't buy that story about the camera being an experimental model.
Oh, really? No? Then what do you think it is?
Well,
yes?
Well, what difference does it make? It's mine.
Unfortunately.
Look, I've had about enough of you, Mr. Scarlett. Now, we have work to do, and if you'll excuse me...
You'll find what you're interested in this newspaper on page 3.
Unknown assailant stabs girl in hotel elevator.
Johnny, that's tomorrow's paper.
Oh, just an early edition. It'll be on the streets in 2 hours. At any rate, you're too late to help Miss Stearns. But to ease your conscience, she wasn't seriously injured and should be out of the hospital in a day or 2.
What hospital? It doesn't say here. And how do you know so much?
Oh, you know, it's always embarrassing when we're forced into this position, especially in this atomic computer age, but I see there's no help for it. Now, through an error, a piece of equipment used by my organization has come into your possession. I don't think it's necessary to explain that this shouldn't be in the hands of any mortal.
Hold it. Hold it right there. You said mortal. Are you trying to tell me that you're not a human being?
Johnny, be careful.
Come off it, Lisa. Now, look, Scarlett, if you're the devil and you want my camera, you'd have no problem in getting it. You wouldn't be here asking for a swap, practically begging me to give it to you.
Ordinarily, you'd be right. But there are unalterable rules which govern my organization, and one of them is that when a mortal makes a legitimate purchase from us, we're bound to a bargain. We can only ask that he return his purchase of his own free will. Now that I've revealed this much to you, I suggest that you take the...
No deal, Nick. Or whatever your name is. You made a bargain, and you're stuck.
May I make one correction? It is not I, Johnny, who is stuck, but you, who are doomed.
I don't suppose there's one of us who hasn't thought of what they'd say or ask if they really had a conversation with the devil. You know, I like to believe that most of us have at one time or another, but that we somehow either didn't recognize him or didn't believe him. I'll be back shortly with Act Two. When a man looks back on his life, it's easy for him to pick out the mistakes he made, where if he had done things differently, his life would have been better. However, man is always the victim of his desires, and in today's world, the desire for wealth can blind. Johnny Carlin had become the owner of a strange camera, a camera which seemed to be able to take pictures of the future. And Johnny Carlin had visions of untold wealth. He had also been warned, but greed has its own way of muffling warnings.
I hate all of this. I wish you'd give it up, Johnny. I can't stand all this lying and maneuvering with people who are calling for help.
Who's lying? We can deliver. Lisa, all we have to do is tell them that we have to take a picture, that's all.
But there have been dozens of calls from people who've been ripped off or mugged and want us to find the criminal.
Simple. We tell them we can't help them. This is the Carlin Crime Prevention Agency. We can forestall a crime. We can't solve it. You don't have to do anything except tell them the truth. All right? Now, what have we got today?
You must be kidding. Here, look. Here's just a few of the latest messages.
Huh? Banks? Hey, these are good. Banks will be regular customers when we get set up properly. Nothing. Hey, Andrea Scudder. Well, what do you know?
You know her?
Well, the same way you do. Heiress to the Scudder millions. Beauty, playgirl, athlete, and all-around hellraiser.
She said she wanted to talk to you about a personal problem.
Uh-huh. Andrea Scudder. That's money. Call her and make the appointment.
Mr. Carlin, I'm being blackmailed. I don't know by whom. Can you find out?
Well, I can try, Miss Scudder. If I don't succeed, there'll be no fee.
And if you do, there'll be no publicity. I don't want my name spread all over the front pages.
You have my word.
Fine. The job is worth $50,000. Is that satisfactory?
Yeah, that's okay. I'd like a little more information.
Such as?
Well, what happens when and if I deliver the name of the blackmailer to you?
You get my check, my thanks, and my farewell. I'll take it from there.
Not satisfactory.
What?
Look at it from my point of view, Miss Scudder. You ask me to get you a name and then walk away? Now, obviously, you have some plans for this blackmailer. Probably for getting rid of him?
That is none of your business.
Granted, but if you intend to hire someone to take care of your problem with him, then that can't be done very quietly, and I might get involved.
Mr. Carlin, let's put it this way. I am not a killer, nor do I intend to become one. This blackmailer must be someone in my circle of friends. You'll have to take my word for that because of the information that he holds over my head.
Miss Scudder, excuse me. You keep saying he. Why?
Because it's a man's voice disguised that talks to me over the telephone.
But the blackmailer could conceivably be a woman.
It's possible. But it would still be one of my group.
Okay. Now, the only request that I make of you is that you allow me to take your picture.
My picture?
Just a snapshot.
Well, I don't see what that is.
Well, that's the way I work. I get strong impressions from a picture. Emanations, call it whatever you want. It works.
All right. How do you want me to pose?
I don't have my camera with me. You see, I wasn't sure that I would take your case. Could you come to my office tomorrow at your convenience? Full face, if you please.
Whatever you say.
Thank you.
That's it?
That's it. Thank you for coming to the office.
Well, what happens now?
Well, I'll study the picture and hopefully get some vibrations which will enable me to name the blackmailer.
How long do you think it will take?
Not long. I may be in touch with you this afternoon.
All my instinct tells me that this was a waste of time. But if it doesn't work, it'll cost me nothing.
Exactly, Miss Scudder. See you later.
I hope.
You will, Miss Scudder. You certainly will. Lisa?
Yes?
She's gone. Come on. We'll see what the picture looks like.
Well, I don't know what you expect to come out of this. What is it?
She said she wouldn't. She said she wasn't a killer.
Who's the man?
I've never seen him before. But from the looks of this picture, she's pumping a few bullets into the blackmailer.
Are you sure you know what you're going to tell her?
I'm not going to tell her anything. Hand me the scissors.
Here.
All right. There. Now, all we have is a picture of the blackmailer. I'll take this up to her and say, here's the man who's been blackmailing you. Give me a check for $50,000, please.
Johnny, she looked a lot older in this picture.
Well, he isn't too young either.
I want you to promise me something. When and if you get the $1 million, you'll forget about the camera and throw it away.
Lisa...
Johnny, please. Promise.
Okay. If that will make you happy, okay.
Come in, Mr. Carlin. I must say you work fast. The picture did the trick.
Yes?
And you have the name.
No. But I have his picture.
His picture?
Here it is. You can probably put a name to it.
If this is your idea of a joke, Mr. Carlin, I am not amused.
But I don't understand. Something must
Get
have gone
out.
wrong. Now, wait a minute.
I meant what I said, Mr.
And
Carlin.
I've got something to say to you, Miss Scudder. You asked my help in locating a blackmailer. Now, I came up with this picture, and it's obviously upset you. I don't know who the man in the picture
The
is.
man in the picture is Tracy Kingsford, my fiancé.
Your fiancé?
Exactly. And I know he isn't the blackmailer because he could and will have half of everything I have when we marry next month.
But...
Now, I don't know what your purpose was in showing me this picture, or even how you got it, but this picture of Tracy, he isn't this old. Where did you get this?
Well, maybe it isn't your fiancé.
Don't be ridiculous. Where did you get it?
Well, I'm afraid that's confidential.
I want to know why you thought Tracy was the blackmailer.
Miss Scudder, I told you, I made a
will
mistake.
pay for the information. What is your price?
If I decide to tell you, it won't cost you a penny, but I'll have to think it over.
What are you going to do, Johnny?
I honestly don't know. I've learned one thing, though, about this camera.
Yes, so have I.
It's best to use it with places or institutions like banks or jewelry stores rather than with people.
It's wrong for you to have it and even worse for you to try to use it.
Now, Lisa, it can't do me any harm. If I learn to use it properly, I won't get into anything like the Scudder situation.
You still haven't decided what to do about that.
Yeah, I have. I'm just going to forget it.
Forget it? How do you forget something like that?
A very good question, Miss Kane.
You're after the camera again, aren't you, Scarlett?
Of course. I should think by this time you'd be convinced that it isn't for mortals.
Right. You have to say that, huh?
Well, that doesn't make it a lie.
But it makes it suspect. I can take whatever you say with a grain of salt.
Well, let's get back to Miss Scudder. You know that she's going to kill her husband, and you're going to let her. Can you live with that knowledge?
Well, can I stop her?
You can try.
Okay. Tell me how.
You can tell her the truth.
That would be interesting. Tell me, Miss Kane. Suppose someone came in here and told you that you were going to kill Johnny after you're married. Would you believe him?
What?
Would you?
No. Johnny, you could put the picture back together and show her the picture. Show her shooting him.
Yeah, but she'll ask me how I got the picture.
You're getting to be good at lying. You'll tell her you have this gift of...
Prophecy?
Yes. That somehow when you take pictures of people, it shows the future somehow. That you've only recently discovered the gift. You could tell her that.
Oh, interesting.
Look, we don't need you here.
You don't know how wrong you are.
Why don't you just give up? I'm not going to give you the camera.
That's final?
You can bank on it.
All right. Then I'll ask you for a favor, and I give you my word. You won't regret it.
Yeah. Well, what is it?
Permit me to take one picture.
What for?
As a favor.
No deal. Once you get your hands on the camera...
Johnny, I give you my solemn promise that I will take only one picture and immediately return the camera to you.
Well, why should I believe you?
Because I've already told you that I can only get the camera from you if you give it to me. I cannot trick you.
Johnny, please, let him.
Well, all right. So long as it's clearly understood that you're only taking one picture.
Understood.
All right. Lisa, get the camera.
Right away.
Wait a minute. What picture are you going to take?
That wasn't part of our bargain. The only right you have, Johnny, is to keep the camera and destroy yourself. That right has been granted to you.
Here's the camera, Mr. Scarlett.
Thank you.
No, wait a minute. Not so fast. I told him...
Thank you. And here's your camera, Johnny.
Well, what about the picture? You just snapped something at random.
Oh, the picture, Johnny. The picture is mine. I hope that I will not have to show it to you.
Please, I told you I don't know. Oh, please, there's no sense in you hitting me. I don't know the combination. I don't care about the camera. I don't. I would tell you if I could, but he changed the combination to the safe because he knows how I feel.
Hello?
John Carlin?
Speaking.
Inspector Barrett. Remember me?
Oh, yeah, Inspector.
You know a girl named Lisa Kane?
Well, of course. She's my fiancée, and she also works with me.
Well, forgive me, but I've been through this before. I've got the kind of news that can't be broken gently.
What is it? Something happened to Lisa?
She was beaten up. Badly. She's in the emergency clinic at City Hospital, and she's asking for you.
Since the days when Homer smote his blooming lyre and regaled Grecian nobles with the stories of Greek gods and men, which have become part of our Western heritage, man has sought to pierce the veil of the future. And ever since those days, from Cassandra on, man has consistently ignored the words of prophecy, no matter from where they came. Now, Johnny Carlin has been given more than a warning. Whether he heeds it or not, we'll find out when we return shortly with Act 3.
We're those news people at Mid-America's Total Information Center, News Radio 78, WBBM, Chicago.
Black magic from a black box. A seemingly ordinary camera purchased by Johnny Carlin has turned out to be anything but ordinary. In fact, it has the capability of depicting future crimes which will be committed by or against the people photographed. The camera has brought Johnny a lot of money, a lot of notoriety, and a lot of trouble. Lisa Kane, his fiancée, is in the emergency clinic of City Hospital because she has been brutally beaten.
You got here fast, Carlin.
Where is she, Inspector?
One of the rooms down the hall. She's been asking for you.
All right, let's go.
Any idea why she was picked on?
No, wasn't it an ordinary mugging?
Hardly. She was attacked in your office, and nothing was taken from her purse.
Johnny, I want Johnny.
I'm here, Lisa. I'm right here.
Oh, Johnny, they wanted the camera. They knew it. They knew it was in the safe.
Shh, now, don't try to talk now.
Please, let me. I want to tell you.
Did you see their faces, Miss Kane?
Yes.
You think you could recognize them if I showed you some pictures?
Inspector, look, I don't think she's in any shape.
Johnny, get rid of the camera. Get rid of the
Is this the same camera that took the pictures that nabbed the men who robbed the Intercoastal Bank?
Inspector, look, you can tell she's in pain.
Doctors say she's going to be all right. What about the camera?
Well, this isn't the time or the place.
This is the time. You want to find another place? It's okay with me.
That's good coffee. Another cup, Inspector?
Forget the coffee. Give me some facts.
Look, I've told you everything I could.
The camera. Now, what's with the camera?
It's one of the new Volectas. You've seen them.
Sure, they all take pictures of masked stick-up guys and show their faces, right?
Look, Inspector, I can't explain how that happened.
I'm going to level with you, Carlin, and then you better level with me.
Look, Inspector, are you threatening me?
I didn't press you about it before because you did me a favor. I got a lot of brownie points for bringing in those bank robbers. But now the heat's on me again. New commissioner is throwing his weight around. And I'm looking for something that'll help me score with him.
Well, I'm afraid you're looking in the wrong direction,
Well,
Inspector.
let me see the camera.
I've told you.
I know what you told me, and I know you haven't leveled with me. Two guys don't beat up a girl looking for a combination to a safe that holds nothing but a camera. Unless they want that particular camera awfully bad.
Inspector, that's pure speculation. Now, they may have thought there was a lot of cash in the safe.
The girl says all they wanted was the camera.
Inspector, she's like you. She's got a thing about it.
Well, I sure have. Take a guy named Johnny Carlin in the communications business. He buys a camera, and all of a sudden he's in the crime prevention business, and doing very well. How come, Carlin?
I discovered I had a special talent.
Yeah, I've checked with some of your satisfied clients. They tell me you use ESP.
Yeah, that's right.
And a camera.
Yeah, that's right again.
Well, I don't buy it.
Well, I'm not trying to sell it to you.
Yes, you are, Carlin. You're trying to sell me a phony story. Now, I want that camera you use for your ESP bit.
It seems to me that you're a lot more interested in the camera than you are in getting the guys who beat up Lisa.
I haven't heard you screaming at me to find them.
If I thought that would do any good, you'd hear me on the moon.
Meaning?
Meaning that I think we'll get those guys one way or another.
You think you have a way?
Maybe.
Something to do with a camera.
You have your methods, I have mine. If I come across anything, and I expect to, I'll let you know, Inspector. 7 left, 3 right,
And all the way past 0 to the right, to 4, and then 11 to the left.
Scarlett. You stole it.
Oh, Johnny, when are you going to start believing me? I told you, it's against the rules.
What are you doing here?
I came to help.
Well, I don't want your help.
You're not interested in finding the man who beat up Lisa?
Well, I don't need you.
Of course. You have the camera. May I remind you that it only works in the future, not in the past. The crime on Lisa has already been committed.
And that's all you came here for?
And to give you this snapshot. Remember? The one I took in this office when you lent me the camera?
Let me see it.
Here it is.
These are the guys. Here they are. It's a perfect picture. Excuse me.
Where are you going?
I'm going to show it to Inspector Barrett. He'll be able to pick up these hoods in no time.
Of course. And what do you tell him when he asks you where you got this picture? He'll be more determined than ever to get his hands on the camera.
Well, then, why did you snap it? Wait a minute. You knew it was going to happen. Why didn't you warn her?
Which question do you want answered?
Both of them. Neither of them. Look, I don't know. I just want to do something.
Johnny, give me the camera.
All right. Look, I'll make a deal with you.
That's what I'm here for. Which 2 cameras of the Volecta line do you want?
Yeah, you're pretty sharp, all right. I'll give you the camera for $1 million.
Sorry, Johnny. I can't make that deal.
Why not?
Because it's against the rules.
I
had to get a special concession even to be able to offer you 2 cameras. Believe me, Johnny, a mortal cannot profit by a mistake like the one that was made with your camera. So get out while you can, and let me have the camera.
You know, you sound like a broken record.
Well, haven't you had enough? Can't you understand now why this camera can bring only tragedy?
Well, which question do you want answered?
Oh, it's interesting that I find it much more difficult to do a good deed than an evil one.
like to know what makes you think you can pick out these mugs, Carlin. You've never even seen them.
Yeah? Well, what have you got to lose, Inspector?
Time. I could be showing these mugshots to your girl. She's the one who saw them. You looking for someone you know?
I'm just looking for a couple of face. I think... Wait a minute. Yep. Here you are. Here are your men.
Joe Horn and Spence Vogel. Are you sure?
I'm positive.
How do you know? What happened since I saw you at the hospital?
Will you stop asking questions and pick these guys up?
What if you're wrong? I look like some kind of...
I'm not wrong. Hey, I've got good news, Lisa. The doctor says you'll be able to go home in a couple of days.
That's nice.
Well, honey, you don't seem very happy.
Johnny, what have you done about the camera?
Isn't it great? They've caught the two guys who hurt you.
So you've still got the camera.
Look, Lisa...
Hello. It's for you, Inspector Barrett.
Barrett? How did he know I was here? Thank you. Hello?
Carlin, I want you to meet me in your office as soon as possible.
Well, why? What's up?
I'll tell you when you get there. Be there.
What did he want?
Well, he wants me to meet him in my office as soon as possible.
Johnny, please don't go.
Oh, Lisa, why not?
You just got here.
Look, if I go now, I can finish with Barrett and get back and spend an hour or so with you before I get thrown out. Inspector, I never really thanked you for getting those two guys.
That's what I came about.
What, to get thanked?
In a way. I want that camera.
Inspector, look, you must be losing your marbles. I told you...
Now listen to me, Carlin, and listen good. I put 16 years of my life into the police force, and they've just transferred me to Staten Island. Me, Inspector Barrett, sent to... Well, you get the idea. Now, I'm not sitting still for this transfer. I gotta have your little camera.
Inspector, what good do you think the camera's gonna do you?
Oh, come off it, Carlin. I'm a cop. I've done every kind of police work from pounding a beat to undercover surveillance. And never have I heard of a guy who could predict crimes and name the criminals. And you can't either, Carlin.
Oh, well, wait a minute. I never said I could.
You can't. But you got some kind of newfangled device on that trick camera of yours, and I want it. It's going to make a big difference to my career.
Look, Inspector, I'm sorry about the transfer, but it's upset you. Now, you're dreaming. You don't believe for a minute that I've got a gadget on a camera that can look into the future?
That's just what I believe. It's the only thing that makes sense.
All right. Now, suppose I prove it to you.
How?
I'll show you the camera.
Fine.
You'll look at the camera, and if you know anything about cameras, you'll see that it's a perfectly ordinary Felecta S60 with no extra gadgets on it.
That's why you keep it in a safe.
Here, Inspector. Look for yourself. You see? A plain Felecta. No gimmicks. Nothing.
What did you leave in the safe?
Nothing. Take a look.
I will.
All right. Now you satisfied?
No. I think I'll take a picture.
Now, Inspector, you're being childish.
What's your beef? I'll just...
Now, give me the camera.
Back off, Colin.
No, come on. I said give me the
camera.
Colin,
I'm warning you. I warned you, Colin. Now get up. On your feet. Colin. Colin. Good Lord. He's dead.
Inspector Barrett, hold up a second.
Who are you?
Nick Scarlett. I'm a friend of Johnny's.
Oh?
He asked me to pick up his camera. I see you're carrying it.
I'll check with him.
Oh, really? That won't be necessary.
Look, I've never seen you before in my life. I know that this camera means a lot to Johnny. You don't expect me to hand it over to some stranger simply because you know Johnny and you asked for it.
Inspector, you're in a better position than most people to know what happens to people who try to hang on to this camera. You'd be well advised to hand it over.
You're the smoothest con man I ever met. Now get lost before I take you in for loitering.
Come in. Sit down. Make it fast, Barrett. What do you got?
Commissioner, this camera is the greatest crime prevention device that's ever been invented.
What? Barrett.
Please, Commissioner, listen. You must know that I came up with the guys who stuck up the Intercoastal Bank and those mugs who beat up that girl in the office of the Carlin Detective Agency.
I know that.
I did it with this camera. Look, I'll prove it to you, Commissioner. I'm going to pull a picture out right now. Here. I'm going to pull it out and lay it on your desk.
That's not going to prove anything.
Here, you just look at it. And then tell me what you think of this camera. Well, you convinced?
Yeah. You've convinced me, Barrett. Francie, you and Sergeant White come on in here. I want to put Inspector Barrett under arrest.
Arrest? What's the charge?
Murder 1. According to this picture, you've killed this man in his office.
What?
Well, take a look. Picture's clear as a bell. That's you standing over what looks like a very dead man. I don't know how you got past my secretary.
My card, Commissioner.
Nick Scarlett. Interpol?
Yes, that's right. You see, Commissioner, we've been after that camera that Barrett handed you for the past 2 months.
Oh, look, Mr. Scarlett, you're not going to tell me that Interpol...
The camera was used to smuggle heroin. Oh, yes. Very clever arrangement behind the shutters. Very clever. I'll give you a receipt and take it along if you don't mind.
No, not at all. Just as long as you leave me the picture that Barrett took when he was killing Johnny Carlin.
Oh, Commissioner, that will be my pleasure.
I often wonder where that camera is today. Sometimes I think that it may be used by St. Peter when an applicant stands at his gate demanding admission to heaven. Perhaps St. Peter pulls out a picture which would effectively silence a sinner who hadn't been caught by the law here on earth. I'll be back shortly. How about it? Would you love to know the future? To be able to see exactly what's going to happen to you tomorrow, next week, next year? I hear a chorus of no's. It would be unbearable to know the exact date you're going to die or be mugged or be involved in a fatal accident. I agree. But I leave you with this. Why do so many people consult fortune tellers? Our cast included Nick Pryor, Terry Keane, Joan Lovejoy, Joseph Julian, and William Redfield. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
Oh, it was a horrible thing to say, but you were angry, upset.
Yes, I was, but don't you realize that the same thing happened before with Ezra? I said I hoped something terrible would happen to him, and it did.
Yes, it did, but we often say things we don't really mean.
But I did mean it. I meant it both times. That's what makes it so frightening.
Why frightening? Look, you don't think that just saying it had anything to do with their deaths, do you?
Yes, I do.
John!
Well, I do. Do you remember what I told you about the glass ball?
That there was something in it?
Yes. What if there was? And what if, when I released it, it began doing things for me in return?
Oh, John, that's ridiculous.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal, and by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The WBBM News Time, 11:23.